go to space.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Fridays with Above. I am Tim Alatorre, co-founder and COO of Above Space Development Corporation and Above Orbital Inc. Thanks for being with us. Today it's July 14th, 2023. Want to make sure my slide and the actual calendar, same thing. Thanks for being here today. We've got a number of our investors who've invested over $1,000 who are joining us live today, who will have an opportunity to ask us questions, or I guess me today. I'm the one on the call. And this will be going out live now for those of you who are here. You can also tune in later to watch the replay, and we'll be posting this to our YouTube channel in the next couple days. So with that, we'll get into a briefing like we typically do, and then turn it over to you for some questions. So to start with, we had a fantastic ribbon cutting and open house at our new Spacegate facility in Huntsville, Alabama. And this happened last month. We had in attendance, we had some of our future customers, as well as representatives from NASA, local government, the Chamber of Commerce. Actually, the Chamber of Commerce rep there is standing in that first picture next to Tom Spilker. And it was a great event. We were able to have a number of, actually you who are on this call right now, I see some names of people that were there. Thanks for making it out. And it was a nice opportunity for us to open officially on this new facility where we will be building our hardware for the contracts that we have currently with the Department of Defense, and where we actually did the assembly and bench testing for Project IOTA, which I'll get to in a second here. One thing I'll note here, if you look at the lower right-hand corner there's a map on the wall. I gave a highlight of this last month. Now that we have all the information for our entire investor pool, we put all of your names and little pins of where in the world you live on this map, and that's on the wall in our facility. And it's just really, it's really inspiring to go in every day and see the support from around the world. Those of you who believe in what we're doing and are there supporting us every step of the way. So we don't say it enough, but thank you to our investors. Thank you for your support. Thank you for the letters and emails you write on our behalf to third parties. Thank you for sharing the message of what we're doing with other people. Really, we are working to make space available for everyone, and you're part of that. So thank you. We also, this last month, did our first tests with NASA. We have, actually, I can't recall if I've got another slide for this. So I'll skip ahead, and if I have another slide, I'll mention it again. But we sent out a press release this morning, which you should have gotten in your inbox, talking about a new Umbrella Space Act agreement that we signed with NASA. That's actually happened some time ago. I think I might have mentioned it on our last call, but we finally got approval from the NASA PR department to actually go ahead and put the press release out. And that has to go through the local and national channels, and it's quite the process. But we were happy to finally officially announce that. We have this agreement with Marshall Space Flight Center, and basically the agreement is they are agreeing to support us in anything we may need to develop space platforms, space stations, crewed, uncrewed, autonomous or otherwise. And that opens up to us a world of resources, technical expertise, testing facilities. The lower right-hand corner here, you see a vacuum chamber that we're actually working on setting up in that facility. Maybe not that exact chamber, but a stone's throw away from that one. And then the other pictures here are from our tests that we did this last month. So we have Eric Ward there on the left-hand side, looking quite heroic on the flat floor facility there. We have, going clockwise, we've got one of our investors, Jamie Rich, who's actually on the call here, along with Rhonda's sons, who came for one of the afternoons to watch. And then the next top right corner there, we have another one of our investors, actually happens to be Tom's brother, William Spilker. He was there along with Rhonda, our CEO. And we had Gary from Sisler Industries, who we are working on a mission together with them. And he came out to check on the progress and see how things were progressing. And then, as I mentioned, the vacuum chamber picture. And then I took a quick selfie of myself with Eric. I was the photographer for most of this, so I am not in most of the pictures. But I took a snap of Eric and me doing the command and control and observation and data recording up there on the platform. So it was a fantastic week, actually, that we were there. and we're gearing up for the next test in a couple of months. We have a succession of tests over the next several quarters leading up to an orbital mission, which we will be revealing details about soon. So we're very grateful and excited to be working with NASA. We've been working with them for years now, but now we finally have an official agreement and a mechanism where we could use their facilities. We're making progress on both of our contracts with the Department of Defense. We actually just got for our beamed energy platform, we got notification today from our primary vendor who's making the main structure that they will be shipping that out on Monday. So that'll be arriving in our facility in Huntsville, where we'll start to do the acceptance testing and outfitting of both that test article facility to be able to do the tests, which we're planning right now on culminating in November with the final tests for that. So things are moving along quite well. We're really excited about that, and working on raising the TRL of that technology to hopefully eventually be able to provide services for the DoD. But we are very excited to have the partnerships with the DoD. Also, a special announcement: we will be making an appearance at Comic-Con in San Diego next week. A few members of our team will be there. They'll be passing out information about the company, as well as they'll have some special things for people who come by and say hi. So when we're there, or if you're going to be at Comic Con, come by and say hi, and we're excited to be there. Also, just a reminder that our capital raise is ongoing. So we just, as in minutes right before this call, approved an extension of the raise. We're going to be pushing it back a few more days. You are very insistent and supportive of the raise, and so every time we think we're going to close it out, there's a couple people who say, "Wait, just need a couple more days. I got something in process." So we are extending it a few more days, and if you haven't taken advantage of this yet, just recapping, our current offering price is $225 a share. There's a number of perks that you can qualify for. One of the big advantages of moving to Silicon Prairie is that this is more than just a portal where you can buy shares, but this is actually going to be a trading platform. When you have held your shares for a year, you'll have the opportunity to sell or buy other shares. And then also for our prior investors, we're making available share warrants. And I talked about that extensively on prior calls, so feel free to go look at former calls to get details on that. I will answer a couple questions about that today. But when this raise ends, that opportunity for warrants will not continue. This will be the one opportunity to qualify for those warrants. We also have a Tiger Mark insurance policy, well, the carrier's Tiger Mark, which we are offering now as part of this raise and prior raises, which is another assurance and opportunity for you to exit your position if you feel that there's something we've done that didn't match what we had promised. There's also the opportunity in the new Silicon Prairie platform for voting. Before, all of your shares were held in proxy. We are now transitioning all shares to just having direct vote, to where when we have our shareholder meetings, you'll be able to vote through the Silicon Prairie platform based on your percentage ownership. So a couple of questions that keep coming up, and there's some at the end I'll answer as well, but at the close of this raise is when we are going to be transferring the net capital records. There's no additional investment that is required from you as a shareholder to have your records transferred. So if you own shares currently that you purchased through the Net Capital platform, those are yours. We're not leaving those behind. We're just transferring where those are recorded to the new platform. Now, if you haven't created an account on the new platform yet, that doesn't mean you lose your shares either. We will be reaching out to you, or most likely the Silicon Prairie team will be reaching out to you to let you know that your shares are now recorded on their platform, and encouraging you to make an account so that you can keep track of those and we can match that ownership to you. Also, at the end of the raise is when we will be granting the share warrants. So if you purchase shares now, you cannot see those share warrants show up on your profile until the close of the raise. Once the raise closes, we'll compile all the records of who invested, matching those with the net capital records, and allocate the warrants at that point. So if you don't see either of those things in your profile right now, no need to panic. We have your information, and that will be happening. Also, just again, we are not doing this alone. We are very grateful for all the people and companies and entities that we are working with. I actually just had another great meeting yesterday with another supplier, vendor, partner. I mean, they've really fallen into all three of those categories that we will be working with shortly. We don't have anything in paper yet, but their name will be popping up here. And they're a company that has flown hardware on pretty much every space mission since I don't think they flew on Sputnik, but a long time. They've been on a lot of missions. So with that, we will open it up to questions. I've got a couple that I just wanted to highlight that I've been seeing in my email quite a bit over the last month. Number one question is why can't I log in? We get this a lot. I think people who have created profiles on our prior website, either orbitalassembly.com or on NetCapital, those logins will not work on Silicon Prairie. Silicon Prairie is a completely different platform, and we don't have any of the login information from NetCapital. That account information, like the usernames, passwords. We did not get that. So you will need to create a new account on the invest.above.space website, Silicon Prairie, and then once you do that, then we'll match those with your records. Next question I get is, I haven't done anything on the new platform. Are my shares still valid? As I mentioned previously, yes. All the records from NetCapital. NetCapital is just basically a dashboard to see your ownership. It's not actually held by NetCapital. It's held by us, recorded through a transfer agent. And so all of that will be ported to the new platform when this raise closes. And then I already answered this as well, but just to reiterate, I don't see my NetCapital shares in Silicon Prairie. Why not? That will happen. I'll just say that again, that at the close of this raise is when we'll be porting everything over. We'll be matching everybody's records, and then you will see that appear on there. And all the purchase information, date acquired, all of that will be there. So any shares that you for over a year, and those are ones that you purchased on the NetCapital platform, those would be ones that would be eligible for trading and selling if you wanted to do that. And then all shares would have voting rights. Next question I get quite a bit is, how do I exercise my warrants, and when is the deadline to do so? So I think this is where there might be a little confusion in just the terminology. So right now, you can qualify for warrants by making a purchase on the invest.above.space site now between, it's now July 19th is the deadline. So for the next few days, if you make a purchase of shares, if you make an investment at our current share price, then we will grant you the warrants at the close of this round. They'll show up on your profile. And then you have until January 1st of 2025 to exercise those warrants. You can't buy discounted shares without the warrants. So we're giving you the warrants, which are basically a coupon, and then you exercise them, which is basically buying shares as a discount between now and January 1st of 2025. Okay, with that, we will open it up to you in chat. It's going through here. Scott's asking, let's see here. I think I can add this on here. There we go. When can we expect the warrants to be issued so I can take advantage of all the stock I purchased during the capital funding and since? Yeah, I'll say it again. Don't have a problem doing that. So at the close of the raise is when we will compile all those records. So some of you are fantastic and you've invested multiple times during this round. And so instead of doing that calculation every time an investment gets finalized, we'll just take the sum of all those investments at the end that you may have made over the course of this raise, and then do the calculation once and grant the shares at that time. Oh, let's see here. Now I got to figure out how to get rid of this off. There we go. There's lots of hellos. We got visitors and people tuning in from California, Germany, Netherlands. That's fantastic. Chicago, Denmark. Like I said, it's really fun watching that map that we put together that's in our facility. There's support from around the world, which is really inspiring to us, because that's what we're trying to do, is open up space to everybody. Let's see here. We got South Lake Tahoe, Austin, Texas, Redmond, Washington. Okay, so Russ is asking also about the stock warrant progress and the updated timeframes. So there's really nothing we're doing now until the end of the raise for the warrants, and then once we're still in the process of how that works. But I would imagine what will happen is we will do the calculations of what warrants you qualify for. You'll then get a notification that, hey, this is the warrants you've qualified for. This is how we've calculated those warrants. And then, if you have any questions or concerns, you can email us back, and then they'll be on the platform shortly thereafter. Um, we've got a question here, and I'm going to butcher your name. I'm so sorry, Miroslav. Hopefully that was close. He's asking, is there any possibility for us in Europe to take part in these warrants? Last time I checked, it was only for US. We do have a number of investors globally who are participating in the raise. I'm not sure exactly how they are doing it, but I do see the emails coming through that has happened. Um, if you are unable to do a platform, go ahead and reach out to me. You can email me at tim@above.space, and I can point you in the right direction of the person who can help you make that happen. Okay, looks like Scott asked the question again. Um, oh, I will put this up here again because I like how you modify the question this time, Scott. Said, I'm betting big on the future of this company. I appreciate that. I'm betting big on the future of this company as well. I'm myself and my family. We are all in on this. Okay, here's another question. Um, so Scott's asking, is the facility in Huntsville open for investors to visit, or will there be another event planned to allow investors who missed out on the grand opening to see the progress? It is not open just for drop-ins. We are working on sensitive uh, uh, projects there. There's, as I mentioned, we did the project IDA, which if you notice, we didn't put any pictures out of exactly what the test was, uh, but we're also working on the Department of Defense project. We do plan to have another event this year and an opportunity to have investors come to the facility. We don't have the time frame and dates on that yet, but we hope to have more notice about that event than we did for our open house. Uh, the open house really was driven by the Chamber of Commerce and their schedule, and it all kind of came together last minute. But we were excited to have them do that for us. Oh, let's see. Michael says, my wife thinks the investment will be lost. What can I say to her? Well, that's I mean, to be frank with you, it's a possibility, right? There's a lot of risk in what we're doing. I think, from my standpoint, and Michael, not to discount your investment, but myself and others have invested quite a bit more in this, and that's because we believe in it. I think, I can say that we have a stellar and fantastic team of dedicated people who we are not going to give up on this until we succeed. It's going to take something pretty dramatic for us to not succeed on this. Um, I think the real question is timing, right? And how quickly you want the return on your investment. And that's what we are constantly trying to push forward on. I think we've seen some significant progress in the company just over the last year, where we now have multiple Department of Defense contracts. We have projects that are paying for themselves. We're not just relying on investment for cash flow, which is a significant churn. We have, agreement with NASA. We have continuing to build out our partnerships and agreements with suppliers and vendors for hardware. Like I mentioned, we have another one that we'll probably be making an announcement about soon. We have some others that we've been in talks with and have quotes from that we aren't able at this point to reveal publicly, and probably won't till we get further down the line. But there are people who have in companies that have significant space flight heritage. Um, we are doing everything we can to push the big picture vision while not losing sight of near-term revenue and cash flow. So we are, as I mentioned, working on a near-term orbital mission and really focused on being cash flow positive in the near term, to where we have customers paying for the day-to-day operations, and then your investment is now going towards pushing that and getting to the next step. And we are really close. I mean, well, right now we're there, but I think we're really close to getting to that next step of of hardware dev and progress. So, I think for your wife, I'd say let's give it some more time. uh, I think within the next year or so, maybe even 6 months, you're going to see some significant progress that hopefully will bring some peace of mind to your wife. Aiden says, "What are some thoughts on Starlink? Can Starlink or something similar benefit your space stations in any way?" Absolutely. I think, well, so Starlink is an interesting. It's a system, right? It's not a particular platform or satellite of communication, and so SpaceX is working on space to space communications with the Starlink platform. And one of the constraints right now with doing a large scale operations in orbit is data transmission, and that's something that in part, like our beamed energy project that we're working on for the Department of Defense, has communication capabilities and applications. And so there's a number of applications that need high bandwidth uh, communication capabilities, and Starlink is one of those solutions. So yeah, we're very excited about Starlink. Um, Raphael, I think, responding back to Michael, says there's only one answer that doesn't involve sleeping on the couch. Probably, probably. Um, let's see. Yeah, Marco talks about the first episode, or let's see, the first episode of the latest season for All Mankind. And yes, there's a great uh, graphic in there of a rotating space station, which is exciting. Let's see. Scott saying he's located in Tuscaloosa. He'd like an invite to drop in for a meal if we're ever in the area. Yeah, if we head down to Tuscaloosa, we'll let you know. And I'm not sure what your investment level is, Scott, but hopefully you would qualify for the next invite on our next event. Let's see. So Aiden's got an interesting question here. Have you ever considered a partnership with a TV series movie to promote the company? For example, showing your station in a sci-fi movie similar to Interstellar. That's considered, sure. I don't think we've seriously pursued that. But if someone was interested in using our station, we are more than open to that. And actually, um, going back to one of our partners here, if I can find the slide. Um, so, Future Dude Entertainment, they are a media company, and they are actually looking to create series on our station that they really want to use. Oh, I went too far. They really want to use our stations, especially the artificial gravity stations, for filming in space, because then they can do space scenes uh, in the actual environment. They can do rotating platforms, do microgravity, do low G, and they have talked about. We've had conversations with them about using Pioneer and Voyager stations as backdrops for series, but in show business and in media, there's a lot of ideas that go around, and you never know when something will happen. Um, okay, well, with that, I think that is the questions in chat. Really appreciate everybody coming on today. Again, I'll just reiterate: if you're going to be at San Diego Comic Con this coming week, make sure you find us on the floor and come say hi. Oh, actually, probably should mention this. Rhonda will be doing a panel on Sunday. It's a panel uh, called "The Future Is Now," I believe, and that's in partnership with the organization Gaze in Space. And there's going to be some, I think, Star Trek and Orville actors on that panel, as well as some other uh, people in the space community who are working on making space accessible for everybody. So yeah, you can check that out. Oh, one last question. Giles just snuck it in. I was just about to say goodbye. He says, "Do you have customers that could take advantage of a smaller unmanned station with gravity?" Yes, absolutely. And in fact, that is what Project IOTA is all about. Is developing those capabilities for that a smaller unmanned station to provide artificial gravity for some customers. So we will give you more details on that as we can. Jason saying, "Come to Atlanta's Dragon Con." We will consider that. That's actually not too far away, so we'll consider that. Okay, well, everybody, thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for your support, and I look forward to talking with you again and seeing you at future events and activities. And uh, let me find the button for the video. I will talk to you next time. Thanks.